Okay, and hopefully I'm actually heard this time, Keegan. You can keep me honest because last stream my stuff went screwy. But happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to the Gray Accords. Tonight we've got our special show of Durrani Insanity, or the Ritual, whichever way you want to call it. Um, and we've got Sabati here for right now. We should have a couple of other people joining us a little bit later. They just, hey, it's an evening for some of us. We've got to get dinner. We've got to get other things going, so it'll be fine. And then we also have Rasani here to help, just kind of keep the conversation going and hang out with us. She's, pretty much my co-host. She could probably do this herself. I could just mute myself, and she's fantastic. Um,
Well, shucks.
oh, shucks, I adore you.
Oh,
Um,
goodness.
Now Anne Marie is just here to listen, so you'll probably see her up there, but she's just listening. Anywho, so Sabati, do you want to intro yourself a little bit as far as like what your role is currently in the game with Duran and that sort of thing?
Yeah, also sorry if you hear my puppy. He's getting kind of cranky because it's about dinner time.
I hear little tippy taps. I hear
He has little tippy taps, yeah.
him.
So, yeah, so I'm Sabati. If anybody doesn't know who I am, I'm the current city leader of Dwyran. And I've kind of been, really, Dryden has kind of been my city since as long as I've played almost. Like I was kind of in Anori at the very beginning when I was a newbie, but then kind of moved over around like 2010 or so. Well, I haven't played. Oh, one second. Let me just move him away. Give me a second.
Fenrir.
I'll miss his little tippy taps.
I know, adorable little things. Just I'll try to do it on my keyboard. Let's see if I can do it. No, it's not quite the same.
Not quite the same.
No, I can't quite do it. I don't have the fingernails to like do that delicate of a touch. I'm trying though. If you could see me, I'm over here trying so hard and it's not working. Ah, just nubs. Yes, all I have is
Oh,
just have the nubs. The nubs. I can do like this. There, that's nice and loud on my keyboard. Ow. Good job.
Okay, let's try that again.
Okay.
oh, perfect.
Yeah, so it was really just I remember what I was talking about. I've been in Dwyran basically ride or die forever. That's pretty much the long and the short of it.
Yes.
And really it was kind of like the shamans also I joined in like middle of 2020 and just went like I just made a huge just like character change to just lean into that. And that's been a lot of fun.
Okay. Awesome.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah. And I obviously have seen your gameplay in Duran for quite a while, and I know we pronounce it differently, so I'm sorry. You're gonna have to be probably annoyed with me at the way I pronounce it. But yeah, I saw you. You did the whole city leader there thing before. Really helped define the org. So this is your second time around doing a lot of the same thing. And I hope you're having fun with it at least.
Oh, it's been a lot of fun. We had kind of this. I mean, you were there for the part where Sid made this post. And it was like it's boring to be in Dwyran.
Yes.
And that kind of like started a whole. I feel like that kind of like was almost the beginning of it all.
Yeah.
We kind of started thinking like, you know what? Like I think a lot of people actually feel this way, and what can we do about it? And then I think it was like the next day, it was like, we're gonna fight Sterion and go to war with Sterion. I was like, okay, let's do it.
That sounds pretty accurate. I mean, that's pretty much, and I think I've said that in the previous streams when people have asked. It's like, yeah, we saw he had this post. I decided, okay, well, fuck it, let's just do it, and we did it, and we did a thing, and may have not gone in the exact direction any of us ever probably thought it would, but hey, it was a thing, and the game's really just rolling with it.
Yeah, I think we've all been kind of we just decided to like, well, you know what? Maybe it wasn't. Maybe we don't know what we're going to do, but we're definitely going to do it and lean into it.
Yep. Now, Rasani, I know that you were saying earlier before we got started that you had something you were thinking of opening up with. What?
Oh yeah, I have
was-
many questions.
Oh boy.
So first and foremost, we've talked before on the stream about how admin are doing this cool thing lately with people who really delve deep into their RP and really stick with a theme for themselves, of unique honors lines that nobody else has. So I want to talk about this high-heeled witch thing. Let's. So how did the high-heeled witch of the wilds begin?
Okay, great question. So a while ago, and the thing is like this happened a really long time ago, but I don't think it was quite noticed because Civ doesn't show up to a lot of public things. She doesn't. She for a while I kind of really wasn't going a lot of places with her. She was pretty insular. It was pretty much shaman, Dwyran, and then anybody else who happened to be like roped into those things. Not nearly the kind of atmosphere I think that we have right now in the game, which is fantastic. Well, I made these shoes about a year ago, and I was kind of revamping Sib's look, and she has like a ton of outfits. Like I swear, like 7 different like attire outfit things saved. And one of them, I was like, I really want to lean into like the witchy vibes. Like I kind of want it to be very creepy, very Coven-like. I was going through American Horror Story, the Coven season, and I just loved every bit of it. I was just like, you know what, like this is really rad. I kind of want to take some of this with some other things that I had in mind. And well, I made this outfit that had these heels, and they're called horrific spiked high-heeled shoes, and they're just these massive shoes with like iron spikes jutting out of them. They're just really scary. And during the Elder Gods event, Yanai, the Yanai ritual in the forest, well, like there was a bunch of people at that event, and I with the shamans like Ilikal and Maddie and Sabati were basically like kind of talking through and role playing that. Well, Maeve, the character, emoted something about like looking at Sabati's shoes, and then also like there were some thanks floating around, and then suddenly just everybody noticed these shoes that I've honestly been wearing for like a year, like a real life year.
Right.
And then they became just like a meme. They just became a thing. And then
But Sabati wore these ridiculous fucking
these ridiculous
platform
shoes.
stilettos.
Yep.
Yeah. Just enormous shoes, just really scary looking. And then it was Warren who also noticed something. He said it was, just a tiny little moment where I think we were just both in the same room, and he made a joke about them, like, how can you walk in those, or something like that. And then it just became a thing. Like it just got more normalized. And then there was a post, and that's where Warren addressed her as the high-heeled witch.
Yeah.
And I just died. I literally just like, this is hilarious. This is amazing. And I changed my nickname on Discord like immediately. And then also like someone made a drink. I think like Stein made a drink called the High-Heeled Witch. It was just great. I just loved I just like loved leaning into that.
Absolutely. So the actual name that you have, the unique name, is what? The unique title, I guess. Yes.
Yeah, so the titles, everybody who went to the moon ritual, so there were 16 different, I think it was like 16, I want to say, different counselors who were dressed up as basically what happened was we all had to get a pelt. One of the instructions that we had for the ritual, because there was a lot of preparation that went into it.
Yeah.
Everybody who participated in the ritual had to choose an animal that like best represented them. And this was an instruction from Hare. It's like, make sure that you find the creature that like is in tune with your spirit, and you hunt down the corpse and you give it to Raist, who's the hunter's high priest. Also, previously to this, he was the tutor of Dwyran for like years and years and years and years. Like I want to say almost since the beginning.
Yeah.
So everybody went and they did their thing and they hunted down their animals. And so then you had this awesome like mask kind of thing that people wore. And when they wore it during the event, it changed their name. They were no longer like Isid, for example. They were the visage of the coyote. And there was like the visage of the tiger and the night tiger and mamba. Just it was really, really cool to see that because it's also very, very creepy to think about it. You don't know who's in this ritual. You're just looking around and seeing just faces of animals staring at you. And I got to see some of the things that Holbrook saw during the ritual itself that just went to him. There was just like some added like ambience and like those personal emotes that he was being sent that was really building into just how creepy the entire situation would have been.
Well, yeah, you guys became a heart-eating cult and pulled the moon out of the sky.
It was very cult. It was very cult-like, and everybody who participated got this. I think it's called Moon Wrangler, Moon Rester. I think is what the title was. I can't remember now.
Something like that.
And then for leading the ritual, I got a unique title called Witch of the Wilds, which I just was over the moon about, literally over the moon about. And
absolutely,
it was just very beautiful. I felt very seen. I mentioned that in my Steam to the Pools. I was like, this is really great because I feel like the witch, like leaning into like the shaman, like creepy witch in the woods thing has been something that we've been trying to build a lot in the Prati, in the shamans, and it's really cool to see it like recognized in a very neat way.
Yeah, I definitely, the reason I brought it up is because they seem to be doing that more and more frequently. I'm almost certain that Weirin has one for being a little trumpet boy.
Yes.
The Godsmith.
Yeah, I have the Godsmith for being a foraging nerd. And it's very, very cool, and I like that I feel like it will encourage people. Oh, speak the devil. It will encourage people more to engage really heavily with RP and find an identity. Because nobody's going to hear that witch now and not think of Sabati. They're gonna go, "Oh, who the fuck did she eat now?" Like there is so it's very cool because it makes the world feel more alive. When people do remarkable things, it's not just it's in their honors. It's a title that you have. It's something that common people whisper about you as you walk around the world. And that is really interesting, and I think it's good for world building. So I'm glad that they did it with Durin, who literally pulled the moon out of the fucking sky.
Yeah. It's just a crazy plot all around, and it was kind of I feel like a lot of things converged to make it happen. Because it kind of really, nothing could have been done without Ririn messaging the Celestine. It's like, we need help. And on an out-of-character perspective, I was just like, messaging Variant. I never thought that would ever get messaged. Like, nobody would think to do that or even respond to it. So the fact that we got a response, I was just like, what? That's wild. Has anybody,
flimsy.
like, who has messaged Variant Celestine and actually gotten a reply before?
Oh my gosh, for real. When the guards were, like, saying, you haven't tried everything, are you going to do it? I'm like, you know what? My character would take a dare on so hard that this is just a dare at this point. I'm just going to roll with it and see, I can at least say I did it. And what was it, with the next day that we got the response?
It was very quick.
It was very quick.
Whoever was working on deciphering it, I mean, I was trying and I was failing, and then somebody came through with the entire sentence. Like, okay, yeah, that's probably it. I was getting nowhere.
I think it was Valerie. Valerie is very good with
Valerie is very
puzzles.
good with puzzles. Yeah, she really is. She's very smart. She's wonderful.
She is. She's such a lovely person.
I have a few. Let's go back to let's go first to Varian arriving. The first sort of nail in the coffin, I guess, for the tensions that Honorian and Durin are currently having. Varian inhabits the body of a child.
Oh yeah, that surprised everybody.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we I don't know if Durin found this out. But Demariel's people found out that the reason he did it is not our initial thought, and I had heard some people in Durin say this too, was that they thought he picked a child because everybody, including Hearn, would hesitate to kill him.
I mean,
Which was like, okay, interesting. But apparently what it is that a child's mind is pliant and can be molded enough to accept a piece of Varian, I guess.
yeah. You know what? This is a thing, and I'm going to be a real nerd real quick. This has been a thing in several sci-fi shows over the years where they say because a child's mind is still, developing, is still making the pathways and all of that, is actually in such better health at a younger age that it is safer to have some higher being or some possible higher skills in the brain, just because of that fact, compared to an adult being able to do it. So that actually goes in line with a lot of things, and I'm obviously primarily quoting something from Stargate. So that's
I was a little bummed that I wasn't right, and it was just because he was a bitch.
I mean, he is,
but well, yes, he is. That's the question I was getting to. Tell us a little bit about, because the rest of us didn't get to speak to Varian. So Varian, tell us about him.
Yeah, it was definitely a big moment for, I think, a lot of people who play Dwyeran characters, because Varian isn't the most popular dude in Dwyeran, and even a little bit in Rand. I can't speak for y'all's city, but people are kind of
hate him here.
Kind of side-eye him, like, I mean, don't really forgive you for what you did, and also we're pretty cool. We don't really think there's anything wrong with the Al Bedi right now. So, there's like that conflict with, Bemathis, Warren, Legion, and their like, Force Sapien stuff. And people here are just kind of like, I don't know about this. But it is very in line with Dwyeran RP to be presented this option. Say, hey, so I really don't want the plane of life to die either, because that would destroy my entire creation. So I really want to remake it, but I'm going to need some help. Otherwise, it's not going to happen, because Varian is always in this constant battle with the Eschaton, and he can't really look away from it. And it was even, I want to say even one part of the log, I might be misremembering this, but he doesn't even know that he is sending an emissary in a way. Like, he's kind of like separated those two entities. Like, he sent the emissary and sent these instructions, but he himself, as in the Celestine, was not supposed to be aware that this was happening, because even Eschaton would sense that going on, basically, that if Varian knew, then he would know. So it was this kind of secret plot, like, hey, so you're going to have to do this, and you're going to have to figure out how, because we also weren't told how to disrupt the moon. Varian was basically like,
how to bring the moon out of the sky.
He was like, Herno, you better figure it out. Which is the best Calcium name, Herno. I just love that. Herno.
Herno, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if he gets pissed when people call him that,
Oh, he got a little bit annoyed.
Well, so one of the NPCs in Dwyeran, the Rune Carver Ridarch, who is with the Karnag and has been in Dwyeran for a few years now, he has been doing little jabs at Heron by calling him Herno, and Sabati has called him Herno, so he can't hate it too much because he hasn't killed either one of them.
True.
Which is usually a good sign that Heron's okay with it. If he hasn't killed you or stuffed an expedition marker down your throat.
Or choked you. Threw you into a wall. I mean, there's a
I don't know.
Violence.
I'm pretty sure he still doesn't like me, and he hasn't done any of those things.
That's true. He might just tolerate you. It's kind of might be like Tanny, where she doesn't like call you a morsel. She likes you. It's just different standards. Every god's got a different way.
If he comes for my dad, though, we're gonna have to fight about it.
Yeah, Dadmirael. Dadmirael's in a little bit of trouble. I'm a little worried about him.
He's gonna be okay. He's already gone to the plane of light. I don't want to get too much into what's going on with the Norian. This is Durin's show. Yeah. But he's gonna be okay. I appreciate your concern for my dad. He's awesome.
He is awesome. He is very awesome. I'm a huge fan of really all of that I've seen show up with, the various gods. And I know that some of them aren't always populated by a Solani. It might be, a scripted thing that Ictinus or Razmail might run them because they're essential to the story. But I just loved seeing every kind of god show up for this big event, which is just it's really fun. It feels like the world is just like all ready to go and just ready to work on something together.
Oh, absolutely. So you had this child talk down to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's tense because, it's a counselor's kid, it's Stein and
Yes.
Luna's kid, and it's also just the fact that it's a kid. Like, I don't think, Dwyerin's particularly like, F them kids, Michael Jordan meme. They're, everybody was just kind of just like, whoa, okay, so what's going to happen? The last time this happened, what didn't really work out well for the mortal shells, and then he was kind of left like an empty husk after it was all over. So there was definitely a lot of sad feelings and just tension around, like, what did we do? What did this cost?
Particularly, and I'll kind of part the kimono a little bit. We had somebody spying on you guys. Or somebody who was there gave information to Damariel's people.
So I think we knew about that. I think we knew.
Okay, yeah, somebody gave information to Damariel's people, or there was a spy. I'm not sure which it was. So we knew what had happened to the kid even after everybody was saying, like, well, we're just not sure what happened to him. Because for a while, that was the statement. That, oh, well, we don't really know what happened to him, so, like, we're not sure. Even Kalina didn't know for a while what had happened to him. So it is very interesting, because hearing these different rules, I guess, that Varian has in terms of his ability to not know about these machinations, and that sort of thing, is interesting because it kind of puts a new spin on it. Because what's the first thing that's going to happen if you find out that your kid's been filled with the holy essence of Varian? You might pray to Varian and go, "Hey, you broke my kid. Please fix him." And then that kind of gives away that something's been going on in which Varian could break a kid. That kind of thing. It's interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that person definitely got into a world of in-game trouble because
for leaking
because it was done while everyone's around, and the gods literally called them out.
Oh yeah, the person who leaked got called out, which then caused more drama afterwards, right?
Yep.
So
of course it always does. Yeah.
His in-game dad was coming down on him. He got challenged. We had some very mean words over our leader clan. So just people just were not in a good place at that point. It was we knew there was a big task that was we had to do, but we didn't know what to do. We didn't know what we were going to do, and Heron didn't know what he was going to do. He was obviously just as stumped, like, how am I going to pull down the moon, right?
Yep.
To go back a little bit, that actually wasn't the first thing that kind of built into this, what we call the moon ritual. To kind of give a little bit more into, like, how the moon ritual happened, you have to think back a little bit back more when the war with Stereon was going on. And the Guardians of Dendara, which is, now Diarus, but back then it was still Dendara, and you had these Guardians who weren't super well known unless you were a shaman. And they're very, it's very cool lore. Like, I nerd out about the lore with Dendara and the Guardians, and they all like, each of the animals represents something, and there's a lesson in each one of them. Just very, very deep, very, like, applicable lore that was always just kind of kept to one guild. And I don't really think it was like kept it to be secretive. It's just more like, no, it wasn't really immediately relevant or accessible to anybody, just due to the way the whole thing worked. You know, it's very prog based. It's you have to be a member of the guild to really get anything out of it. So there wasn't a whole lot that the rest of Dwyran could do with these guardians. Well, that started to change. They started to kind of shift it a little bit. I felt like very deliberately trying to make the guardians a little bit more relevant to all of Dwyran, and that's why we got the totems in Stereon. You know, they were built. There were sacrifices that were, you know, done. Self sacrifices. You know, as people can volunteer. Like, who's going to sacrifice themselves to bring this totem of, to raise this totem of Krisa? And everybody's literally in Dwyer just falling over themselves, like, me, like, pick me. Like, I totally want to do this, which is great. I love that everybody just has this incredible just amount of buy-in and passion for this entire, like, just plot line. So we raise these totems in Stereon, and they kind of keep the rot from affecting and spreading as fast as it is now. But then something happened, as everybody knows. There was like a corruption of some sort that we don't quite know the story yet, like how it happened or who is helping the Shadow Mother. But the totems all eventually fell, and then Stereon kind of was not long for this world. Later,
that is something we hadn't figured out really, is who's helping the Shadow Mother. We haven't quite figured that one out.
Yeah. So the totems go down. Everyone's like, "Oh, well, that's a bummer." Like, they were pretty cool. And we were kind of twiddling our thumbs for a little bit because we weren't entirely sure what happened next for us. And around this time, a lot of other cities are coming up with ideas. They're working with bells and lightsabers and slave sacrifices. There's all these cities had things that they were doing, and it was a very busy time. Once our totems were down, I think Dwyran it was still a little bit like, well, what do we do now? And I'm losing track. I don't remember exactly when this happened, but the idea was floated, like, we're going to raise more totems. We're going to put them in the Ithmias now, because we really do kind of want to bind the Guardians to Prime and call upon them more, because, you know, it worked for us. So let's do it some more. Let's, like, more Guardians. Like, you press like the big red button, like the more heresy meme for Sid, who just joined. Like, more Guardians, more sacrifices, more heresy.
Yeah,
I remember we raised the new totems in the Ithmias like a day after Sabati was like, "All right, we're going to start sacrificing someone to the Guardians every midnight."
Yeah. That's what it was. I remember now. Okay, thank you so much for reminding me. What happened was I was actually acting off of an out of character message, some advice that I got from Razmiel, who was kind of talking to me just as the city leader. Like, by the way, like, we're not really seeing a lot of activity out of Dwyer, not a lot of chatter. Like, just, you know, try to drum up a little bit more, talk about things more, just see what happens. So I was like, all right, well, damn, well, what do we do? So I kind of talked through this with the other leaders in Dwyer, and also Iku and Illical. Just when I say leaders, I'm including the guild leaders, because we all kind of work together really closely. And then we get the idea, we're like, hey, well, let's just start sacrificing people. Like, people are down. We already know.
Let's just do it.
We know
let's
that
be
people
crazy.
We know that people will do it. Everybody, like, that's the passion of being these, like, nature cultists. Everybody is, like, ready to go. It's like, yeah, let's do it. So
I do appreciate that you guys have never shied away from the fact that it is 1000% a cult.
100%. 1000%. Just spooky nature cult in the woods, and just really leading into that has been a total blast. And I'm so thankful that we have the culture, I guess, and maybe it's like the maturity, but the people are just down for it.
Hell yeah.
But this is a great time to maybe ask the others who just joined what their thoughts are.
Yes, 2 people did just join. We have Eosid and Iaku.
It's been a wild ride for Darren, I would say. I'm really digging us kind of sinking into that, like, cult space, the ritual space, because it really sets us apart from everybody else. You know, like, Spine Reach kind of goes into magic, and Orient kind of leans into, like, you know, like, religious themes. Bloodlock's doing, like, you know, imperialist stuff. So we kind of had to find our own identity, and like this entire event has really given it to us, or like kind of like a
Absolutely.
refresher on it. My like favorite parts are when everyone comes together and we're like, all right, let's do a ritual, or all right, let's do XYZ, because like has been mentioned a couple times before, seeing the buy-in is absolutely crazy to me. Like, I have not seen very many organizations band together like so quickly under one thing. So to watch it happen in front of you is kind of like watching magic happen, and it's really cool.
Yeah, +1 to that. Everybody was. It was just like we're just doing this now. This is who we are now.
Seeing everyone's like, we haven't really dug into the ritual, I don't think, but seeing everyone's animal choices for that and everyone's offering choices was like really mind blowing, because it showed how much people were like really putting thought into the role that got put in front of them.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Rosani.
I was gonna see if Iaku was there, had anything to say, had any wise words to give as Duran's one and only Dwampy.
Yeah, I mean, well, as far as I know, I'm the only one who's really actively playing right now. There are others who exist, but none that have really been around through the whole Stereon and follow-up business. At least none that I've noticed. So if I'm accidentally erasing someone from existence, my bad. I was just thinking, we are leaning a lot more into a culty vibe for sure, and it's not something that is super unfamiliar to me because I have played in the past in other MUDs where the tone of the Forestal Commune is significantly darker even than what we did recently. So even though I like to think that I play a character who is maybe a bit more, it's a strange word, maybe a little bit more like morally upright. It's also not unfamiliar ground for me as a player, I guess. So it was kind of easy to slot into it, and in that sense, wrap my head around how a character who, honestly, I hope he doesn't give off the vibe of, yeah, I'm gonna ritually sacrifice one person a day. But he would if he had to. So playing with that kind of vibe is, I think, another interesting take that I'm not unique in playing my character like that. I think there are several characters who are like, I would prefer not to do this thing, which is dark, but I will prioritize the wilds over everything else. I think there are a few people like that walking around.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. Sorry, I actually got completely distracted because there are game and modes going on. So.
Yeah, there's globals going out, guys. Of course.
Yeah, this is going to be a repeat of when we were. Fuck, which thing was it? It was the Called War.
It was the Called
maybe?
thing with like Damariel, when Damariel did the dad thing.
Yeah, when my dad was awesome and cooler than your dad. Absolutely.
Yeah, that we did that live, guys, and I'm sure some of you might have witnessed that.
I'm
stream.
sure it was riveting content.
Just us swearing for like a straight hour, and then eventually getting to be like, oh, we can talk again. So if we end up needing to just focus on that at all, we'll do that. But it's, I don't know what just happened. Let's see. Form of a
It
Titan.
looks like a Shadowbound Dracothi.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me.
Oh, shit.
And towering
Yo, his
form
honors
of
is
a
pretty cool.
Titan. A Titan, though. So that means level 200?
Oh yeah, it looks like he ate a Colossal Shadow Eld.
Okay, can I do that next? That'd be cool. Well, it can't be Tanny's boyfriend, though, right? I don't know what kind of eld Tanny's boyfriend is.
Oh, here's another
Corrupted
one.
Jin?
An
A
Akari.
fallen Akari.
Oh,
No!
fuck, no!
No!
Oh,
Oh my god!
I'm gonna call it. We're gonna need troops.
Yeah.
Oh, that fucking sucks.
Everyone's heart is just like, there's no.
Oh, and they're coming
Anorian
to
people.
war here.
He has like
They're
Anorian
sending the
people.
Akari and the Jin to us. Oh no.
Yeah. That's so deliberate, but it's a good deliberate. I can roll with that.
I can 100% buy that someone who very much is about corrupting people would then take pleasure in sending people who used to be paragons of a cause to go destroy it. So that makes sense to me.
Oh Lord. Okay. See, who else is coming out? So we've got the Naga. Do we have Nagas? That's like a WoW thing.
I really like I don't know how to pronounce this, Saglozal. Their honors is really cool.
I'm gonna go look. Honor Sac Lozal. I know I'm not screen sharing, so no one can see what I'm looking at, but its power is beyond measure, of course.
If Saglazol the Hungering is the Naga, that would probably explain why we don't have any help files on them, but they're not, are they? It looks like Sanaz is the Naga?
No, Saglozal is the Hungering, and he's the Memory Eater. So, hey buddy, what you need? You're going to bed. Okay. Night night. See you in the morning. Love you too. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, and now
Good
Sibs is having
Lord.
puppy issues again. So no tippy taps this time. No tippy taps.
No, let's see.
Let's see. Some
Spines
Mazgul.
Shadowbound Earthing? What?
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
This is
yikes.
not going to be pretty at all. We didn't think it
It's-
would be, but
Mazgul of the Endless Crags has a really nice honors.
Yeah, he does.
I don't see one for Telerock yet. I'm probably mangling that pronunciation.
that's how I
To
would
release
say it.
the Sorcerer Kings from imprisonment.
Who's that's Mazgul.
Mazgul. Yeah.
Yeah. That's rough.
Oh, Bloodlock, you finally gonna have some fun with that one. Although is he
Oh,
going
he's
to,
going for Spines Reach.
why would he go to Spine's Reach first unless he goes to play with the Monolith along the way? So stomping through dry plains.
I assume that that's what it is.
I bet you it is, and that would make sense. So for people, let's see. Let's see what's going on in chat. So Nura Fyaku, delete Isid. Thanks, Keegan. Yeah, and Keegan, there is absolutely something going on.
All the generals are coming through the portal.
Yeah, all the generals are coming through the portal. Crap. I do wish I could screen share, but I really am not up for that yet.
I might be able to send you some of the globals in Discord, Keegan, if you would like that.
Like I might be able to put some of it into the chat. So yeah, I can just copy and paste stuff. This is fine. This is fine.
Let's see.
Cool.
Cool.
Oh no!
Oh!
What? I missed this one.
Oh no, ancient withered Daedalus.
Oh fuck!
Its title is so sick.
Oh man.
What?
It's a great
No!
unclean one.
I feel like this is one of those things where I really wish I could have been screen sharing.
The mountain.
There's an example there, Keegan.
Oh my god, there's a Mantis Guardian? Are you kidding me?
Damn.
It's corrupted now.
They're all corrupted. The world is corrupted.
It has laid claim to the Forsaken Plane of Dendara. I guess we know what happened to Dendara, guys.
Damn, guys. Oops.
Did you do that?
I mean, it would hardly be the worst thing we've done in the
I
past.
mean,
Yeah.
we kind of cast it adrift after we were done with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So what is he gonna even do with a Forsaken Plane, though? Like, if there's nothing left on it, all you're gonna do is just nom it and just.
Well, there's a whole lot of shadow corrupted stuff.
That's true.
Oh, boy.
Misery incarnate. Oh.
Adherent.
Yeah, she's an adherent of misery.
Cool.
Wild.
We're all just our minds are blown right now.
Yeah.
Why is
God.
Legan? Why are you randomly
Oh,
claiming?
Telerak has an honors now, by the way.
Okay, let me go.
An ascended shadow beast.
Huh?
Yeah,
So-
and there's Agramahara or Agmara. The general that our good Exarch Saibe survived, is the only known person to survive a blow from. So that's worrisome.
there you go, Legan. I unmuted you if you want to talk.
Yeah, so I won't be here long. And there's this weird sound loop happening.
A weird sound.
Okay, so yeah, I had to stream in a browser as well, so it was heard. So, very brief interruption. What happened was that at Holbrook's memorial, Legan swore that he was going to find Dendara's corpse and piece it back together to get permanent revenge on Durin. And that was a promise made to the head priestesses of Tang Saltas, so he can't break it.
Nice. That gives some background. I appreciate you coming on just to give that background.
Yeah, so now I get to fight Durin's nemesis, apparently. Yeah!
Yay! I am.
Oh.
And one spawn.
No fucking way.
What?
Watch the firstborn come through.
There's no fucking way. Oh, fuck.
We're just sitting here like biting our nails, waiting to see what's
There
going to happen.
was one of the generals that was supposed to be very strong.
Yeah,
Wasn't there?
She's already walked through. That's
Oh,
the
okay.
that's the one that I believe it is anyway.
Was it not
Urgich?
Irgek?
Maybe it was. I could have swore it was the Agramar.
He is the antithesis of Niazia, Sage of the Host. He laid waste to the ancestral home of the Narak. Oh no, I don't even remember what the Narak are.
I think it's Irgek because he was called the Angel Bane when they brought it
That
up.
might,
It's just him. He just popped his.
He has gorged
Yes.
himself on angels beyond count. He's the second child, though. He is not the first. The first is still in
Yeah, the first is just busy holding every single access point into Ruva by itself.
basically.
Yeah.
God.
Uh-oh. Well, they're here to find Dad or the weapon.
No, they're here to find the fucking sword.
They're here to
They-
find the sword.
Yeah.
They are here for the sword. Okay. And we never, in that little scene, they were like, we don't know where it is, right?
We have nobody seems to know where it is.
Okay.
But we are gonna have to find that fucking sword.
Yes, that's gotta be like everybody's goal now. Is just find the fucking sword, please. Oh, so how you guys feeling right now, huh?
Oh man, I can't wait to show off to the Exarch.
Oh, well, yes, you need to flex for Sabi.
Yes.
Let's see.
Say-be, more like say-bay.
Sabi.
This is hype.
Puncturing even the membrane. I can't say that word. Membrane. There we go. I shouldn't try to talk. That doesn't look good. What's she doing? Are we just gonna become like the what do you call it from Stranger Things? We're gonna become the upside down now. Embrace the shadow. I guess someone just is already going ahead and moving guards. Or not guards, troops. It was a good plan.
Oof, I'm gonna have to cancel any weekend plans I had.
Well, I feel worse.
This is gonna be a rough one.
I feel worse for Shrian. His computer just literally earlier went to shit. So he's pretty much phone Tolia right now.
No.
May be able to borrow a computer, but
His system though.
I know. So
oh no.
Yeah. Now good news for me is that I'm going on vacation next week, so I've got this weekend to maybe help, and then I get to escape and miss all of this. That's actually not good news. I'm gonna have a lot of FOMO while I'm out of town. I'll just be messaging you, Sib, be like, hey, Sib, what's going on?
Yeah, I am always eternally logging.
For real. I may have to bring the crap top with me while I'm out. No, I told myself no internet or limited internet while I'm out of town. I need to not be on a computer.
So yeah, things are going very well in Duiren right now, I would say.
Yeah.
No problems.
No problems. This is fine. Well, you guys are just a professional. This is fine meme.
Yeah.
You know, we do meme about this, but nihilistic Dwyren was hot.
It was so hot. I wanted it so bad, but we didn't have enough nipples to go full on. But now, maybe.
And now you've got stuff to live for, so you can't be nihilist.
That's true.
We actually succeeded in our literally the first line of "See Help Purpose." It's like we're here to restore Zendara, and we're like, okay, well, what now?
Yeah, not only
we better save the world.
Yeah.
Not only live, but capital L live. Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's like you guys now you saved it. Now you have to protect it in a sense. Like they don't need to possibly take over this world and somehow just continue to conquer other ones, including eventually the new baby one.
I want to. Okay. This is now evolved into just talking about this, which I feel bad for Durin because this was supposed to be your thing. Well, no, actually, what do you think you're gonna do now? Because, like, again, protecting a new plane of life is not super actionable until somebody acts against you, right?
Yeah. Actually, I'm really glad you asked that, Rasani, because we have been thinking very hard about what this means next, and I am personally extremely excited and motivated about it. So Sid knows what I'm talking about.
Yes.
But I actually reached out to Ictinus. I was like, hey, so not to be crazy, but here's what we were thinking. And he's just like, this would be so crazy, but I love it. So there's more stuff coming for Dwyren, and I'm really excited for what that means. But I don't want to peel back the layer too quickly because it is still in motion and has not actually really happened
it's still in motion. Definitely keep it close to the vest. Inorian is also kind of going right now through some big changes. So similarly,
you guys are getting kind of hot over there. Like you're
I
like
know.
going zealous.
So let's discuss the elephant in the room. Every herald is a Templar right now.
And
Yeah,
Templar,
because-
Templar Norian.
Templarian.
It's
This was
ruled
not-
by coolest hat.
Yeah,
Templars have the best hats.
That is true.
This was not. I will explain this. This was not intentional. It just so happened that as I was getting the money out to write to contest, Eliodon had the money on him already, and then contested. I had been considering contesting for quite some time, and I didn't want to contest Benedicto because I felt like it was. I didn't want to contest Benedicto because in the past we've had a lot of difficulty getting anybody to run for anything. So I was like, okay, we're not going to have everybody, but in the end we did have everybody pile up on one election. And then just one election went totally uncontested.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now all the heralds are Templar, which I'm surprised nobody has made gossip about a military coup. But it was all elected. So I guess that's why they haven't. But we're hoping to change the direction of Anorian because yeah, a lot of us are getting a little bit more and a lot of it helps that everybody's doing insane shit. For a while nothing was happening, so it's hard to be like when your vampires are just sitting over there doing dick all, it's hard to be like we've got to go kill every vampire because they're not fucking doing anything. So it's like what do I care if some dipshit wants to live forever? But now that they're actually doing things, it makes it more, you know, you have to really sink your teeth in and actually do something about it. So.
Yeah. Anyway, and yeah, I split the. Yeah, Keegan's saying I split the vote by voting. I split the vote by voting for Area. I can't even say that name. Area Sintesh.
Aracentesh?
Aracentesh. Is that how you say it?
That's
Frickin'
how I
none.
assume you say it.
Aracentesh. Okay, I can say it that way. I can say it that way. Maybe I probably won't remember. But he said that he voted for her instead. Why didn't you vote for yourself? you
Lesson
dummy?
learned. God, Flimsy, please. Sorry,
Flimsy?
my cat is in my face immediately.
I was wondering. I was like, your mic is like starting to make you quiet and muffled. So yeah,
It's
it's
because
the
there's
kitty.
a cat in my. Okay, come here. You're standing on my laptop. This is embarrassing. You infant.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
There we
So
go.
back to Duran. We can take a breather and let people figure out like what they're doing with this whole general thing. I think it looks like the admin are probably still setting things up. But I do want to go and kind of, talk about the ritual and kind of since Iaku and I'm again, I say names badly, and Sid.
Oh, don't worry. I am not saying his name on purpose.
That is
I'm just
beautiful.
letting it happen.
That is
Yeah.
beautiful. I love it. And I know you've told me before, and I don't remember, and it's terrible of me, but I don't. But yeah, for you two, it'd be great to hear how you were vibing during the actual ritual, because Sibs, was talking about it, about like the different, you can't tell who's who, and all of those cool aspects. And obviously, Sib, I still want you to be able to talk to anything else that you really wanted to speak to in regards to that. But, give you two a chance to say, how, you were vibing in it.
Did you want to go first? Or I'm really okay with either. Because you had a much more active role in it.
The most active, in fact, she had.
Especially physically. Yeah.
Dancing?
Oh, I thought. Sorry, you want who? You want me to go first or someone else?
Oh, I was asking
Sid.
Sid since
That's what I
Ian
thought
had
too.
brought
Yeah,
up-
Sid,
yeah.
Sid, you talk.
So I don't know. I was just like the background music for most of it. But like everything about it, in my opinion, like the entire ritual was designed just to see how many people can go crazy with it. Just in my opinion. Um, picking animals, the secrecy of it beforehand. Like, I can imagine there must have been someone from Durin who asked like an Honorian person to make one of their offerings, and they had to come up with a sly reason as to why they needed it.
I'm advised that I narrowly avoided that.
I mean, you also had characters making up absolute and complete bullshit lies. Just to kind of cover the tracks for it. I found it to be like a very like wonderful like multi-layered kind of thing, because there was just so many ripples that came from it, not just participating in it, but like the reactions from all the organizations and like the characters inside them, especially. I'm a big fan of things that cause people to, want to go do things, I guess is the best way to put it. I love instigating things, and sacrificing.
You never.
Sacrificing a player character forever definitely seems like great instigation.
Yeah. Man, color me surprised.
Yeah. I'm such a peace-loving individual.
Get a big old stamp of bullshit right there.
You just want to live the quiet life,
Yeah, absolutely.
You should preferred when Durin was a place for snugglies, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Because then he stands out. He sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, now you're just any old dipshit in Durin.
It's true.
It is true.
It's harder to stand
awesome,
out.
though.
It's harder to stand out as the feral bloodthirsty cultist when you're surrounded by feral bloodthirsty cultists.
Oh god, we gotta move a fucking bell again.
Well, I have the triggers this time, so we're good. Anyway. Okay, so Sid, any other thoughts you want to say?
Playing the drum was super fun, and if I ever get another chance to have Sid drink tempo, I can't fucking wait. They actually had like a drink to use during the ritual where he went she went absolutely ballistic.
Really?
Like your very own Silvergrid.
Yeah, kind of.
Does Sid also do cocaine now?
Maybe. Second.
I think they would if it was more
If offered,
on offer.
if it was,
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. Like if we were deciding what illicit drug Durin did, it would be cocaine.
It would be.
No way, it's got to be the shaman powder.
Oh, the shaman powder.
So what is the
good.
shaman powder? Hit me with it. What in reference to real life drugs, what are we talking about?
Maybe ayahuasca?
Oh, you know what? That is very Durin. But he for in real life, who died? Who pushed the wrong fucking direction?
Kalina.
Melantha!
Was it
Well.
Melantha?
That's the one who...
Well, Kalina got crushed, but
Who
yeah,
is
Kalina got
controlling
crushed.
that?
Melantha is the one who...
Oh, okay. It happens.
Who's controlling this NPC who's just like a peanut gallery?
I'm gonna guess it's Ted Dream.
the amused,
Ted? That
yeah,
sounds
the
like Ted.
amused onlooker has been one of my favorite touches
Yeah,
to this event. Just
that
What?
screams Ted.
remorselessly making
It's
fun of
gotta be
everybody.
Ted.
It's gotta be Ted. That is a very Ted thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So we've got Sid with his, chicky, drinky, dancey, drummy stuff. So that's cool. What about you, Iaku?
For me, I think a lot of the I was gonna say a lot of the fun, but there's not really a part that was more fun than another part in retrospect. It was all really engaging, really fun to RP through, really fun to think about. But I think some of the more amusing parts, because let's be honest with one another, ritual sacrifice is not very funny.
Is it
No,
not?
It's largely
it is
considered a vibe killer and also
Is
a
it?
person killer.
So,
Technically.
So it depends on who you ask. To Sabati and Eosid, clearly. And to Illical, I'd be willing to bet. He's not in here yet, but I'd be willing to bet he's down with it. It is a party starter. To all of Anorian, it is absolutely the minute the record gets scratched in the party movie, and it all dies.
Yeah, I don't think Holbrick got the
It was
you're
a
probably
horror movie for
wondering
him.
how. Yeah, I don't think he got the record scratch. You're probably wondering how I ended up here moment.
No, he woke up in the middle of a Saw room. With a
Yeah.
high-heeled witch being like, "There's no way to save your life, and I'm gonna consume your heart."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just perfect fun for the whole family. But I do think there were especially some funny moments leading up to it. One in particular, a conversation with Rasani, where Rasani was like, I trust pause. I hope that whatever you do is not going to harm that kid anymore. And Aku just had to be like, I can't say anything.
Maybe?
I can't say a single word.
Yeah, it's like
Question mark?
maybe not. I don't know. That's the best way to
I
say
also
that.
hope not, but I can't say that.
Yeah, Rasani was lied to by two people in this chat about the nature of the Durdalis keeping people out of Durin, the nature of, hey, just pray for the Emerson kid, just in case. Nothing's happening, though. Nothing's
You'll know
happening.
when.
He's fine. You'll know when to do it, but it's totally chill. It's fine.
Yeah.
What is that ritual doing? Warding the council from shadow.
And the funny thing is when this had happened, and Eosid said, I just don't know what happened to the kid. I already knew because people had leaked what had happened to the kid. So Rasani's sitting here like, yeah, huh? Interesting. So two people lied here, and then one person, as Sabati has informed me, since had considered reaching out to me for something to be crafted, realized she would have to explain what it was for, and then said, "Nah, I'm good. I'll talk to Rasani after this is all done."
In character, it made the most sense for me to just not even lie about it, but just not give any details.
Yeah.
So when people asked, like, hey, what's going on with these Durdalis, or when in character I had to tell people, hey, you're not allowed in Duiren right now, just followed up by saying, it'll probably be done soon. It's a temporary thing. The speakers might put out a public statement or something, but for now...
Which you did not, as I recall, correct?
No.
I did not.
Yeah.
I did not know whether or not the speakers would in or out of character, so I don't know if I would count that as a strict lie, but it might have been a little misleading. But yeah, if anyone ever brought it up in the lead up, my in-character response was, it's a temporary thing, it'll clear up. See ya.
Peace.
Yeah, peace out. I'm gonna be behind these Durdalis where you are not.
Yeah, just...
You can't get me.
You are over there. Interesting fact, I get the feeling that admin didn't prepare for using the locket artifact to get into Durin. Because I did. And was immediately slain.
Immediately animated and killed by guards.
Yeah.
Immediately animated and killed by guards. I got a warning from Arista, because it was her that I teleported to, and she said, you need to leave. And this was as the wave was still possibly hitting Anorian. So she was like, you need to leave. I got a tell from Aisling that was like, this is your only warning. And then Illical immediately enemies, I'm killed on sight.
You goddamn right I did.
Yeah.
It was so fucking funny.
I didn't come to play with not one of you Anorian people.
Oh, it
Least
was
of
so
all
good.
you.
You're just jealous. You're
I
just
know.
jealous of my
Oh,
good
boy.
trollish looks.
I know. We're just so handsome.
So, like, of like all the people in Durin, I just want to give like Illy like a quick shout out, because every single time there's like a discussion where it's like, all right, well, what does Durin do? His immediate go-to is also, dude, Durin's tough enough to handle this themselves. Fuck everybody else. We're fine.
Absolutely. I
We
mean, like,
we all need to believe in ourselves as much as Billy believes in us.
y'all gotta believe in the me that believes in y'all.
And the Illy that believes in Illy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like my character has been coming from a place of I've said this before, where I felt that like for a long time it felt like Durin didn't really have like much power that impacted the world. And with this whole resurgence of the Guardians and them making themselves more known to Durin and everything we've done with the totems and song lines, like my character has just been like, man, we don't need nobody for nothing. Like,
We're good.
Yeah, we're
We
out
got
here
the
living our best
Guardians.
lives.
exactly, we got the Guardians, we got Dio Ruiz. Like, I don't need none of y'all.
Now, I'll be honest, I kind of hoped, and for a minute it did look like Hearn might die. Now, I didn't hope Hearn would die because I don't like him or anything. My hope was that you guys would become removed entirely from the gods and worship only the spirits of Dendara. Like, to be fully a committed Dendara cult. I was like, that would have been sexy.
You know, we're not far off from that. You say that. I also thought Heron was going to die, and that was
Yeah.
part of the one of the roleplay scenes that just Sib and Heron had together when he asked her, what should we name the new plane of life? And so Sib had two answers actually, because she felt like just during the roleplay, you know, basically what happened was Heron said, I consulted with the Guardians and here's what we're going to have to do. Will you lead the ritual? And Sib was like, oh, okay. What's it gonna cost? And then Heron was like, well, I know it's gonna cost me, but I don't know if you're ready for it. And then immediately I was like, Heron's gonna die. Like he's gonna sacrifice. He's gonna be the sacrifice to this ritual. So when it came down to what do we name the plane, Sib actually gave him two answers. She gave him the Hernic rune for Lys, the goddess of renewal, who, for those who don't know, she originally sacrificed herself to save Dendara a long, long time ago. So she's always been kind of everybody's just sore spot in their heart, like, you know, missing her and all these things, especially for Heron. Huge part of just sad dad Heron's roleplay for like the last 10 or so years.
Oh, yeah,
He's just
absolutely.
not being able to get over the fact that his sister is dead, and he's, you know, having to take on her work and is very heartbroken about it. So one of the answers was, well, let's name it after her. But then she also said, well, also, here's this other name. You'll know which one to pick. And it was his name, because if he sacrificed himself, you know, it could also be named after him. Fortunately, he didn't die, so we got the Diarus, which is the name of Lys, goddess of renewal, is what it stands for.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was very cool.
I thought that was super cool too.
It was
Very-
it took me like 15 minutes to think of it. I was like, oh god, what do I even say? And then I remembered I actually have the book on Sibadi's inventory, and I just happened to look at it and I was like, oh duh, it's right here. The answer is here all along.
Cool.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think we could have picked a more fitting name. Heron has always been, like Sib said, he's just always been all about his sister. He protects Dendara for Lys, so I don't think there could have been a more fitting name than to have named it after her in some way. And also to touch on the whole Lys sacrifice, like,
Here we are.
right, like a lot of us, this is what started the whole apocalypse, because I mean, I personally like always knew that there was the problem of Shadow like killing Dendara, but I thought that Lys's sacrifice like kind of permanently stalled it. I knew that like her sacrifice couldn't like fix things all the way exactly, or really restore them back to how they originally were. But I thought that she had just kind of like permanently stalled out Dendara dying, and then Heron popped up one day and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, it's still dying, and in its final death sleep. So I'm just like, oh,
Depressing.
okay then.
Oh yeah, yeah. He gave us like a full on reminder, and Durin went into like a depressive spiral.
It
for,
really
like-
was. It
like
really was
weeks.
depressed Dwyron.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was particularly funny because this was kind of Hearn popping in, dropping like 10 bombs on Dwyrin, and then
And just peace
vanishing
outing.
for a
Yeah.
bit. Yeah. And part of it was he told us, like, I mean, I've told you guys that it's dying before. Why are you surprised? And it's like,
Yeah, I
nobody
wanted to
really
say-
wrote it down?
yeah, I was gonna say too, Iaku. Like I wasn't there when I was like on my break when that happened. But basically, like when Heron came back pissed off at everybody and picked up Sid and threw him against the wall like he wasn't shit. Like that whole thing. I thought Iaku was spitting hot fire where he was like, I mean, you say you told us Dendara was dying all that time ago, but clearly not that many people knew about it, or like, you know, we would have taken it seriously. I'm like, hey, those are facts right there, because like, I feel like way fewer people knew that it was like still dying than actually did, because I didn't.
I actually loved that scene so much. It would have been very cool to have you there, honestly. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
It's okay. No, it's okay. I'm on terrible internet, so I think I'm like a few seconds behind sometimes. Dwyron has always been quote unquote dying, but it's always had that lining of hope, like we might be able to do something about it. And it really wasn't until very recently that Hammer was like, yeah, no, it's in its death rattle basically, so there's nothing you can do. And that was really, I think, the first time we've ever been like, we really can't do anything. So what does that mean? Everybody gets depressed. And then, you know, dooms the world.
Yeah, sad Duran just do. Yeah, that's their thing. They'll go doom the world if they're sad.
I do think part of the issue with nobody taking Dendara dying seriously is that for a very long time Hearn was just kind of goofy and drunk. Like you didn't get the feeling that he was depressed. You got the feeling that he farted on people and drank liquor. It wasn't until recently that Hearn became really terrifying. And like you could see that he was depressed, and I understand that he's had a glow up. So I think that's part of why people didn't take it as seriously, because he didn't look like he was taking it seriously.
And Keegan says a good point real quick, and he says, you know, isn't that what a lot of depressed people do though? And he's not wrong.
I was gonna say that was, even when Hearn was kind of goofy drunk, that was still kind of the impression.
It was always very sad. Yeah.
It's funny because like I guess it depends on how frequently you saw him. As somebody from outside of his order looking in, he didn't seem depressed drunk. But that, of course, is because I only interacted with him interacting with people outside of the, you know, the order, just him outside in public. But I do think that, you know, it sure is what depressed people do, but that still doesn't help you know how serious it is.
Yeah.
Because that's why they do it. The reason that they act goofy and fine in public is that so you don't know how bad it is. So that's part of why Durin didn't understand how bad it was, I feel, is because of the way Hearn behaved.
Well, it's not even really that. It wasn't, if it was explained, it wasn't explained to everyone how bad it was until, you know, he dropped the bomb on everybody and the word got passed around, and, you know, the whole, just like Iaku said, you know, dooming the world.
Yeah, I think it's the hopelessness part, like there's nothing we can do at this point, that really cemented it.
I agree.
Before we were all kind of like, yeah, we can fight shadow people. Let's do our daily quests in Avalos.
Yeah, we're doing the small things, but we're doing something. We're making a difference, and then we get this bomb and we're like, well, fuck. Why are we even bothering? Or we need to do something more extreme.
And it's not really a secret now, but we tried a lot of things before we eventually settled on, you know, fuck it. If we're dying, it is time to do some things that are more reckless and go after Stereon. We tried a lot of things before that. We tried a lot of things before
Oh man.
God, we tried we tried getting into freaking contact with Odrov, and like we went through a lot of steps before
there were a lot of dead ends.
Yeah. And honestly, I think like I don't know. It's like that out of character aspect kind of did play into it just a little bit, where like Heron came and made the announcement, and then he just disappeared for hella long.
He did.
And
back for cigarettes.
Right, and then left us to kind of figure it the fuck out, and like we're going through all these different means of trying to figure out things, and pretty much like they said, everything.
There was such a fun moment that made me. I was very happy about it, but because Heron has been the negligent dad of Dwyron for so long, when the whole Stereon war was happening, and by the time it was over, right? And then Heron was like, "Why didn't you guys talk to me? Why didn't you contact me?"
Like, bro, are you serious?
It's like, you serious? Exactly.
Sid was literally like, "I didn't think you'd answer. I'm sorry," and that was really sad because she's like a lifelong Heron stan, like always been in his orders. Like, "I'm sorry, I didn't think you'd come."
Yeah,
and then he was kind of like, "All right, I should probably show up a bit more."
That scene in general, like, I expected Heron to kind of like dress down the speakers and be like, you did something unthinkably stupid. I did not expect the speakers to like clap back immediately as a collective.
Yeah, I was like, man, everybody was on team like, man, forget you, Heron.
Yeah, it's like, fuck you. You're yelling at us. We should be yelling at you. My God.
Right.
Sid was halfway through calling him a fat drunk and got thrown against the wall, and everyone was like, all right, I'm going to make my point. That's way better.
Oh, God, that was funny.
He was like, wee!
He just, like said, just straight got yeeted. But, now that Heron's lost weight, he's been calling Illy fat, and now, you know what I mean? Because
really does. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, he told me, like, on order chat, he's all like, yeah, don't get too fat. I'm the only fat one allowed in the fold. Just like, bro, Illy ain't even fat. He's just a little thick.
Illy's thick.
He's a thick boy.
This whole thing has really been almost as much of a Heron story as it has been Dwyron. Like, he's had a lot of change and a lot of development, and also just because he is so it's interwoven with Dendara and now Dairos.
Yeah,
like everything has really come down to him also stepping up, really, and kind of being better.
Yeah, I mean, I have absolutely enjoyed everything that has happened with the Durin arc, just the whole moon ritual and everything. And I mean, I told her in private, but I just wanted to shout out Sabati, that I just don't think that if there was somebody else in the game who could have like done a better job of leading that ritual, they are definitely super under the radar. But I think that like she was the only choice to have done it, and I think she just did it so beautifully. And as the scene was playing out, like I could just see everything so clearly, with how she was writing things. And it was touching on all of my Dendara witchy buttons. So that was a really awesome thing for me to have been a part of.
You were too sweet. Thank you.
Speaking of Sabati, that gives us a nice clean segue, right? For you to be able to tell some more of your stories from the actual ritual.
Yeah, so we kind of been touching on some of this throughout. There's been just so many threads that went into it. The Heron stuff, kind of coming back and paying a little bit more attention. The Guardians becoming more of a thing in Dwyron. We built the totems in the Ithmia, and there was just this amazing moment when we were doing the totems in the Ithmia. And for those who weren't there, we had to basically constantly slit our palms or wrists or whichever one it was. And you have a blood level, right? So if you ran out of blood, you would die, and you'd come back to life. And you keep slitting your wrists or slitting your palms. So some people just chose to just die over and over again because it was faster. Some people would sleep. And we had like all of Dwyer raising these totems and slitting our blood and basically and we needed daggers because we had other people that wanted to participate and they didn't have bladed weapons. So I actually was like, I need daggers and I'm gonna mispronounce his name, Syrian, the city leader of Venorian. He
My
came
best
up.
friend.
Your
my
best
bestie.
friend, Versani's best friend, came to Ithmia to deliver about 10 obsidian daggers, and he just walks in and he just sees all of these people just slitting their wrists
Half
over
of
and
them
over
bleeding
again
out,
and
half of them sleeping.
half of them sleeping, and he does the Syrian opens his mouth but says nothing and just leaves.
Don't ask questions, bro. Just give
Don't
us the
ask
daggers and go.
questions.
Just
give
Yeah,
us the
just
daggers and go.
drop them. Just
And
drop
walk
it.
away.
Don't worry about it.
Just we got we're sacrificing our people. We're showering
So-
the entire area with blood, raising these totems.
Question. Unrelated, more related to what's going on right now. Is Durin under attack yet?
I don't think so, but I also haven't been paying close enough attention.
I'm standing at the council right now, and I don't see anything.
They haven't
not
walked
like
in
this,
through the front door,
Interesting.
but
We did
in
find
the
their
past
camp.
they have snuck in. So I can't say
We're
for
being
sure
full
yet.
on attacked. A lot of our guards have died, and as did our sweet young boy Everett, who wanted to be a Templar Knight.
I know. I
Oh well. I was trying to help y'all, but too bad you pissed off Aaron. Fuck y'all. Y'all can burn.
Yeah, it's like they got the nice totems around, so they're pretty.
and people keep
protected.
dying. It's not great. Yeah, that's true. You guys do have the totems, so you guys it may take quite a bit longer. In fact, for you to be
We
attacked.
literally have the fucking Wakanda barrier outside
do.
in our forest. Okay,
Protection.
so come through if you want to.
Yeah, so we raise these totems. We're feeling really good. We actually get a couple of great city emotes, like seeing the Guardians actually kind of like just this giant bear, right? This giant kind of ethereal bear just kind of looking over us, and it's a very cool moment. We're like, oh, the Guardians are here. They're like with us. They're invested. That was just a really great moment, and it's not something I hope I'm crossing my fingers like something that's gonna be the direction of Dwyer is like more tied to these guardians and this kind of like sacrificial cultist dedication, to what they stand for, because their lessons are actually very cool if you like read into their lore and everything. And
Dude, I'm so
Illy is
ballsy.
like the number one guardian stan in this chat.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, so regretfully, like when I first started playing Atolia, I just was not into the game lore all that much. Like, I just very much viewed it as just like kind of a video game. That
A
I
big number.
Yeah, exactly. I was not invested in the role play or any of the lore at all, and I'm really regretful of it because I mean, I believe to this day I'm still like the oldest druid player who I had always been a druid. I had always been in Durin. Well, I hadn't always been in Durin. I've like bounced back and forth between like Enorian and Durin, but like druid and the druid class has always been like my character's main identity from day one, and he never lost it. Even though I was not into the lore back then. And even when Shaman lore came out at first, I wasn't that into it. But like the past few years, I just like did like a straight deep dive into it. And the way I looked at it was just that I thought it was the coolest thing because it's like, the shamans are the ones charged with guarding the plane of life, which is like this super, super serious and important duty. But in order to do that effectively, like you gotta be badass to do that. Like you can't just be anybody trying to protect it. And so that's why I just love the teachings of the Guardians so much, because like they're all here to basically, train you and tell you it's like, you're this thing that is not to be taken lightly because of all these things that we're teaching you. We're granting you this power so that you can do what we're asking you to do. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I just really threw myself into like each of their teachings. And like if it once you like really like really get invested into, like the teachings of the Guardians. It's like you can apply one of the teachings to the Guardians to damn near anything.
Yeah,
And
100%.
yeah, and it's like I've just like got it so ingrained in me that like anytime somebody says something, I'll be like, oh, you need to seek this Guardian for this teaching, or for that. And it's just
It
like,
really is. Sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
It really is like a mini pantheon.
Exactly. And so, yeah, one thing I've been looking forward to is just there's not that many people in the shamans that have gotten to the rank of becoming what we call heirs of the Ankiar, um, which is when um, you basically undergo this ritual. And technically, I haven't technically done it myself, but basically, you go through this ritual where you become essentially become the heir to the next guardian or whatever should something happen to their Ankiar. Now, realistically nothing will probably ever happen. It's just completely a role play thing. But I have been looking forward to some of the people in the shamans just getting themselves up to rank, because I would just love to see more heirs for the guardians, or kin of certain guardians. And one thing that like kind of like I guess put me on that hype train was at first it was my 200 event, where when I got to see all of the Guardians assemble, like the Avengers, for the first time, seeing them, that was like my first time like really seeing them like live in action, and seeing like how much each of the Ankiar resemble the Guardians that they are the voices for. Like each of them behave just like their Guardians. And I mean, I won't lie, it is a little bit difficult claiming kin of Takaros, because in case people don't know, Takaros is the angry boy. Takaros is the one who is merciless and relentless in how he treats anything perceived as a threat to Dendara. Threats to no questions asked, them and everything attached to them. It's like he is that's why they call him the Fury, because you sneeze on Dendar wrong, you're gonna get it. But with trying to embody Takaros, it's like there's like an arrogance that comes with it, and it's difficult trying to embody that, which is why I also want other kin of the other Guardians, because Takaros needs the other Guardians to temper him. Otherwise, he'll just burn everything to the ground. So, I've been trying to adhere my character to the traits that Takaros carries as much as I can.
Is one of those being rude to me?
Yes, absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Perfect.
And I mean,
it's in the book, actually.
Yeah.
I won't name any names, but like there have been people where it has been brought to my attention where like how I've spoken to them or the things that I've said to them, purely completely in character, were taken the wrong way and made them stop playing because I don't know, they felt that I was like saying it to them out of character for some reason.
I'll have you know that Illical calling Rasani an ugly fucking troll is the funniest thing that's ever happened to me in this game ever. Because it was out of nowhere. It was left field, and it was just, you ugly fucking troll, and then he left, and it was so fucking funny.
That is specifically why that flow chart has a whole part about Illical in there. It's specifically from us having a conversation about that. I was like, it's got to be in here. Just got to make sure. Is it Illical? Is he going to change? No. Decide if you want to smooch anyway, and if not, just keep going. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, especially because Heron made his shit list of annoying people. with the whole Severn thing. And
Yeah.
like, Illical is 100% dedicated. I mean, he literally gave his life to Heron, and Heron had to stand in for Karn and put a piece of himself into him. So it's, like he is fully pledged to Heron through and through. So you piss off Dad, you pissed
Ooh.
me off too, and I'm not playing games with you.
Guys, guess what? Sakaris just died in Duran.
Oh yeah, no,
Wait, there's shit going on.
Yep. Have fun with that. We just had our round.
Yeah, that's why I've been quiet.
Oh, well. I
I've
thought you
been
were listening.
committing violence.
Ooh, violence. I like you. That sounded worse coming out of my mouth in a minute, too.
That is okay. I understood the intention.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay. Well, we are at another good segue where I can say, hey, Sibs, were there any other stories?
Yeah, there's a lot of stories.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, we totally sidetracked. I'm so sorry.
It's
You're
okay.
you're fine. So, we're at the point where we've got guardians, we've got this, people willing to sacrifice and really lean into the cultistness of it all. And then we know that Hare needs to pull down the moon. We don't know how. And then some other things happened, but the fallout with the leak and some other drama that was going on with Severn, and just basically Heron got angry, Illy got angry, people were getting angry left and right. And then Sib wrote a really fierce post, and Heron was included in her shit list, essentially.
No, I love
And-
that.
Bro, I could not. I was like, I know somebody did not just talk to Heron like that.
She just
I was like,
did.
What a bad bitch.
She
was
was
waiting for you to
tired.
I was waiting for
I
you
was
to
too.
die.
I was too. So here's what happened. Literally later that day, the portal opened, the Heron portal, which
Oh,
means
God.
get
It's like,
in
yeah,
there.
get your ass over here.
Get in here.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's coming.
It's
It's
coming.
coming. And I show up, and Sib's, I'm boy body at this point, and he's ready to, eat shit. But no, then Heron's like, so I talked to the Guardians, and we're gonna do this ritual. And so it just evolves into this talk, and it's we're gonna do this ritual. Oh wow, Dwyren's getting beat up right now.
You guys are
Oh,
getting
yeah, we're getting
your
trashed.
shit kicked
Uh,
in.
it's okay.
Yeah, they just haven't stopped coming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's how it
somewhere-
is.
you guys literally have to use the bells. Like you have to stun them with them. It's the only way that we've managed to
Well,
keep
I'm
them
gonna
out of
wait
our
for
city.
someone to think of that in character, because
Yeah,
now I
yeah.
can't.
Sorry.
All good.
So we have this role play. Heron asks Sib to do the ritual, and Sib's like, okay. And we had that conversation about the cost and what are we going to name the new plane of life and all of these things. And so, I sign up. I'm like, yeah, I'm absolutely down to do this. And then the next day, I get a message, or a tell actually, from Ictinus. And he's like, yeah, so I just want to touch base over what's going to happen. Just want to make sure that you're okay with this. It's going to probably be a little intense. And I'm like, oh boy. And then I'm like, okay, well, is there something I should be worried about? And he's like, well, just the thing that's going to happen, it's really going to change how people look at you and also Dwyren as a whole. We've never done this before, and I don't really want to spoil it. Just want to let you know, like, I wouldn't put you up for this if I didn't think you could handle it, that kind of stuff. But anyways, at that point, I was sitting up a little straighter, and I was like, all right, something is going to go down. Something big is going to go down at this point. Still don't entirely know what's going to happen, but I had a lot of wild thoughts. And then the next day, Heron actually shares what's going on with the ritual. As people were working on getting their animals and their offerings and everything, I actually read what's happening with the ritual, and I'm like, oh, an unwilling sacrifice. Okay, do we have to find it? Heron's like, no, I got it. You don't have to worry about it. And I, at that point, it's like there's also going to be a willing sacrifice. It's like, okay, so do we? Are they just going to step forward at the time? And Heron's like, yeah, it's going to be like this. So I'm just like, I'm preparing as much as I can. The pools were really great with just prepping me. Like, obviously the heads up was very much appreciated, but also Raz messaged me, was like, by the way, here's exactly what's going to happen so that you can start like pre-writing some emotes and other things so that it can move forward a little bit faster. You're not like feeling pressured to come up with something on the spot. So I had the heads up of the exact ritual from the day before. So I really spent that Friday just writing all of this shit down because I was like, I know I'm gonna freak out in the moment. I'm gonna like typo or something, so I'm gonna get myself square. So a lot of prep went into it, very much appreciated. I think that was a huge part of why it ended up feeling so smooth or felt effortless in the moment. It definitely wasn't, but I had a lot of prep time and a lot of heads up, and I don't think it would have felt the same if I hadn't had those things. So definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
And I did want to say something since you were talking about the Hern portal, and you just feel like shit's gonna go down as soon as it comes. I know the feeling. It's just you see that portal and you're like, fuck me.
I will say I've noticed that gods are really only killing you if they think that your shout or whatever you said was lazy.
Yeah, that does. Well, no.
No. They have been killing people for other stuff, and people get killed for all sorts of RP things. But specifically about like backtalk, right? You backtalked Hern, and you were like, "I'm gonna die. This is it." But admins seem to really be making a point of rewarding conviction, in your character's stance. Because I definitely could have gotten killed by Severn, but didn't. You could have gotten killed by Hern, but didn't.
Yeah.
So they definitely seem to be like not jumping straight to zapping people unless it's like, yawn, you're being boring, or this is a lazy shout, or you're just being outright insulting to me, or that kind of thing. Instead of like, I don't know if you guys remember, but for a while there, in the Tior years, in the Dark Ages, it used to be if you said anything to a god, they would zap you. So it definitely has gotten to a place where it's like, hey, as long as you're really, you're being creative and you're role playing it out, and you're not having a temper tantrum, like, yes, we won't kill you for shouting, unless that's clearly what you're trying to get.
Yeah. I will agree there. I think they've been better about that general thing. Like, just let people be, or, yeah, you should die for that one. You're kind of being stupid. Although the whole recent one that Sibs mentioned earlier with this, what was it? It's a land marker, I think it was.
Expedition marker.
Like just going and finding that person and ramming it down their throat. I think that was a creative one, at least.
Oh, that was hot.
Good.
That was hot.
If I'm going to be killed, at least do it in an interesting way. And here's the thing. Okay, here's another thing. Iacid, I'm really jealous that you keep getting assassinated by Shadowbound. Because I say a bunch of rude shit to them, and they don't come to assassinate me at all. I have not once been attacked by a Shadowbound, and I told Margaxus that I was going to cut out his heart and send it back to the Shadow Mother. And nothing.
Man,
well,
that deserves some assassins. That's pretty good.
Yeah, why haven't I gotten assassinated yet?
I mean, I've shouted some reckless things at Margaxus, but I haven't really gotten too much either. But I also
it's a bummer. We'll just have to take it as he's afraid of us. He fears my zeal.
And by personal touch, I mean he breathed on me.
Yeah, that did happen. I was in Hubrid, and he did breathe fire on me.
My man,
I like the first Bloodlock battlefield, where a bunch of people that weren't in Bloodlock decided to get together and just like try to siege the arch. And
yes,
yeah, that was funny.
Berg actually dropped the shield and like roasted all of us.
It's gonna be great. I'm very excited. What is nice is they seem to be doing things at different times of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So like not everything is happening right at Howling. Stuff is happening in the middle of the night sometimes, or any number of things are happening. Like the shit, what was it? When the rot would finally like consume something, I think it was like a big deal, was in the middle of the night. So like it they're doing stuff at different times, so different people are getting to see different parts of the event, and then we all have to come together as like a community to build up the whole story for people to know exactly what's going on. It has made people be a lot better at documenting things for their city. Because I don't know about you, but there was like a time period there in Anorian where nobody documented shit. So there's whole events from the Tior era that nobody documented shit on, and we just events. I say events, by
Right.
which it's usually just one NPC came up, word saladed at us, and left. But still,
Yeah, I think like I don't know how much it happens in the other orgs, although I can probably just speculate everybody does it to some extent. But that's one thing that was kind of brought to our attention too, is that like I don't know, it's like we tend to like see like the regular crew online, for example. And when most of like those sorts of people are online, when these things are happening, we're just kind of like, okay, everybody's here, everybody saw it.
yeah, I don't have
Um,
to write about it because all the
all,
people that
all,
are on when I'm on saw it.
Exactly. But yeah, no, it like I think things definitely we all just in general need to do like a better job of like record keeping and just posting about things in general, just so that there's a record of it somewhere, so that way down the line, people aren't wondering like, oh, what was happening during this time and like all the things that were happening in between.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I am very excited for what people are going to start to do now that things are getting dire. Now that each city has its own attack happening, I'm very interested to see what happens in each city when their back is against the wall. Because I think for a lot of cities it'll be the same shit, but there's bound to be somebody who cracks.
Oh.
Interestingly enough, like my character has already cracked. My character cracked.
Well, that's clear.
Well, that's
yeah.
a whole other thing.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel like he's done all the cracking he's gonna do. Like it. So I mean, it's just gonna be it. It just is what it is at this point.
Ooh. Sorry.
Untouched by Shadows Advance.
They're totally. Someone's doing something with them again. Sus. Everyone's right. It's sus.
It is sus, yeah.
Or maybe the
Damn.
the Shadow Generals were like, there's some division here. Wouldn't it be funny?
It's
if
just
we just
Abs-
exploited it?
That's sort of the thing. Is we don't like Bloodlock anyway.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take a whole lot, and it makes sense. Bloodlock's playing an imperialist nation. Nobody
Sure.
who isn't Bloodlock is going to like Bloodlock. That's just sort of the nature of it.
It is true.
So, and they really seem to enjoy it. They're really leaning into it. They don't mind being sort of on their own, as it were.
Right.
And although I get the feeling that this is an attempt to go, ooh, what's Bloodlock doing? And then like Bloodlock's gonna be like, ha, they're not coming here, and then they're gonna blow up the volcano.
Please.
Just like, fuck y'all.
It's been needing a remodel for so long. Please blow it up.
You know what needs a remodel is Spine's Reach. Their map sucks.
You know what?
Your map does suck.
The map does
They're-
suck, but at least it's pretty compared
Incorrect.
to Bloodlock. I don't know, but I've always been.
You're partial.
I'm partial.
Spines' map does suck. Signed, someone who broke Durin in every day for like a week and a half.
Yeah, Spine's Reach definitely needs a revamp, I think, in the layout department. So here's the thing. I joke a lot about please don't blow up Anorian, and please don't, because it at a certain point you're gonna get like a fucking tropes, a TV tropes page about it. But I have seen the map from old Anorian, and I understand why they wanted to get a new map for Anorian.
That big old northwest stretch, I'll miss it forever.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's like, it's fun, but it's from my Achaea days, so I was always very partial to like Shalom and the old Anorian map. So for me, it took so long to finally memorize Duran's or Anorian's new layout. It took me months.
Yeah, I'm struggling enough with Dwyran's new exit on the east side.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it so
love
much.
I love it.
Oh, it's
Love it
great.
too.
I do kind of miss the horrible, horrible river.
The river that always moved you around.
Yeah.
Just because it was awful. But
It was a
this
mini
new one is a lot better.
It was just a mini game. That's all. All right. So
I feel like we digress from Sib stories again.
yeah, we keep doing that. I'm so sorry, Sathati. It's
I,
one of those
now that
nights.
you guys have enough Durin people, I'm going to leave so that you guys can just talk about Durin things. This was a pleasure. I'm going to go deal with the shitstorm that admin just unleashed upon us.
Okay.
Have fun talking about Durin. Love you all. Goodbye.
I'm gonna make
Thanks,
sure to
Raz.
crash your Norian show.
All right. I was actually going to see, Sibs, if you had anything else, what other topics as far as like the stories, if there was anything else you still wanted to run through there.
What did I? So I kind of talked through the back end and all that went into it, but the biggest thing to me was just, and I keep talking about the buy-in and how much people have just been showing up and doing stuff. All of the offerings, with a couple of exceptions, but like the vast majority of people who showed up with their offerings, they put so much thought into it. Like Val sacrificed her order item with like 87 vampire fangs on it, and that's a PK. Like every fang is a PK, right? A vampire PK. So she offered her necklace, and I asked her like, "Did you get it back?" And she's like, "I got it back, but it was empty."
The hatchling
like,
was such a good
damn.
offering.
Yeah, no, she already gave one of them to Heron with like 100 fangs on it. So
Oh,
like
really? I did not know that.
oh yeah, no,
That's
Valerie's
fantastic.
Valerie's a
G.
killer.
My old Fang necklace actually vanished, and part of me thinks it's back when everyone was testing Bard, and I got generosity at some point and just gave it away.
That'll do it. That'll definitely do it. Oh my
I
god.
don't actually know because one day it just vanished.
Whoops.
And I might have offered it, but I think designing something from scratch was a little bit better because there's no way I can compete with an 80 Fang necklace.
The
Yeah.
designs were really cool. Actually, here's a fun fact. I don't think I told anybody this, but I asked them to do the Voacha offering differently. You could offer your flesh to Voacha because that's canonically Voacha's favorite offering is the flesh of the person
Yourself.
who's doing the offering.
Yes,
So-
exactly.
So a lot of people were planning to roleplay that because I was checking in with people for like 2 days. I was like, hey, what are you planning to do? I was trying to get an idea, encourage people, because so obviously Sabati wants the ritual to succeed, and she wants to stop people from making a bad choice. And as people were saying, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like just offer something of myself. I'm gonna sacrifice myself to watch it. It's like I know how this is gonna work out. The mechanic wants an actual item. This is gonna be a problem. So I asked them, hey, could you code in an alternative for watch it? You can offer your flesh. And Ictinus was just like, yep, we can do that. And literally had to change like immediately. And I'm so thankful that we were able to do that because that changed the entire that would have changed like the entire mood of the ritual, I think, if that wasn't there. It's like, oh, by the way, you're supposed to actually offer a thing, not yourself. That would have been a little bit anticlimactic.
I accidentally offered Takaros' offering to Rovok and had to like bullshit an offering at the very last second. So I searched my inventory for a shrunken head and was like, all right, well, this works. It's a vampire, right?
That's awesome.
I was actually considering for a while, I was like, should I finally take off one of Aku's fingers or two? And when I realized it was supposed to be an item, I was like, I don't know if I can mechanically cut my finger off, so I'm going to save that as a backup if, for whatever reason, my normal offering doesn't get accepted. So once more, I have been thwarted for removing Aku's fingers.
You know what would be hilarious is if you could actually find someone that still has those finger items from the vortex. If someone still has some of them, like Riot probably still has some in his cache somewhere, and then you could just pretend that those are you giving the fingers.
I did have the withered finger bone, but I didn't know how well that would.
That probably wouldn't go well just because
fly.
that's actually tied to Mondres and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else, Sibs?
Yeah, all the offerings were great. Everybody did such a great. I was actually not expecting people to go as hard as they did. Honestly, like the crafts, like people trying to get their designs through the queue and everything. It was very cool.
Yeah, Valerie... Sorry.
Heron was like, you dress something on your own. And I was like, okay, I'm using like my 20 customization certificates. I'm just gonna go hog wild, and I just used like 5 of them on just like crazy items that were just a little bit more spooky and magical. That was a lot of fun. And Ignis was actually sending me like hype messages as they came through his queue, and he would say, "It looks awesome, hype," and I was loving it. And the whole lunar turmoil thing. I was so happy they named like the events post came out and he called it the Ritual of Lunar Turmoil because I just made that up, and that was the name of Sib's dress that she wore, was the Gown of Lunar Turmoil, just for funsies, and it's very cool that's what it's now called.
He does like taking things from what happens, like the tiniest little details sometimes. And throwing that in.
No detail is missed. No detail is missed for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. My brain just died on me for a second there. Trying to think if there was anything else really. I mean, the ritual itself, we talked about earlier before some of the others got on, just kind of giving the rough idea that admin, were offering certain, players to be able to retire for the ones that were doing the different sacrifices and everything, which was cool. So it made it feel really high stakes. But, did you know beforehand as part of the ritual that they were going to be doing that sort of thing? Or you just, you knew what the ritual was going to be?
So Sid got an entire outline of the whole ritual in character. So I knew it was going to happen. I didn't know who it was going to be until it actually happened. So at the very beginning of the ritual, there was very specific instructions, like only Sib, Heron, and the sacrifice up here until everybody else is called. So I showed up there, Sib is waiting, and then Heron shows up, and then it said Holbrook appears, looking bewildered, and he's just immediately just like. And he like is like completely frozen, like he can't do anything.
They gave him the disabled F.
Yeah, he was disabled completely, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is what's happening. This is gonna be great.
I don't know if we've touched on it in the stream yet, but I know it's been mentioned a few times, like in official and everything. But Holbrook did such a good job.
Absolutely.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Absolutely. I just want to shout out Holbrook for like being willing to not just how beautifully he role played that scene, but just the fact that he was like willing to give up his character and just all the attachments that went with it, because that was some hero shit right there.
Couldn't have been easy.
Exactly. And I don't know. I was just like having all these parallels. I was just like, like when he was like, Tay, I'm so sorry. I was like, damn, man, I felt that. Like, I was like, I've been there before. I was about to get a knife in my chest, sacrifice for a ritual for Dendara. You're about to get a knife in your chest, be a sacrifice for a ritual for Dendara. But you just ain't coming back, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, at first, I think in character and out of character, I just kind of assumed, like, well, I mean, sure, you'll die, but, like, who hasn't,
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, shit. You say that
And,
now.
and it
Yeah,
turned
that was
out
wild.
And then we lost our poor city tutor. Who
Yeah.
created one more
Yeah.
movie
Who
before
created
the
a
last
law?
moment.
Oh, that was
Oh.
terrible. Terrible.
Wasn't he technically like briefly revived accidentally? I think I heard somewhere that someone said it.
The
And then-
corpse created a newbie at some point, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Oh God.
yeah.
I missed that part, but oh God.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it came up in web where people were like, what? Isn't he dead? I still didn't know in game at that point or out of game that Race was the other one that was sacrificed until someone said it in the web that it was like, isn't he supposed to be dead? And they're like, yeah. And it got fixed pretty quickly, thankfully.
Yep. Long live Raced.
We might
There
have
was
just
also a
lost...
moment-
Sorry.
Oriad.
Yeah.
I hope not. I love Oriad.
Yeah,
No,
I hope
you-
she's not permadead, but she is definitely dead in the logs.
I'm pretty
Oh.
sure that anything that's dying to the shadow, just like up in, anywhere northwest, all of Hubride? How did I ever pronounce that name? Anyway, they're all dead, so I'm pretty sure all these people are dead. Grandma dead.
Oh, there's a shop that sells some ingredients I tried to go to. It's gone.
Which shop in your...
Hubride has some unique crafting ingredients that are either gone forever or they're going to get moved to Estaport like everything else that gets destroyed.
Probably moved to Estaport. I bet you anything.
Just like a random Hubride straggler. Like, please buy my taro roots. I have nothing.
What are you guys laughing about now? Just this general topic
And memes.
and memes. Okay.
I'm just like kind of wondering what the aftermath of this event looks like. Like special crafting materials being displaced, entire villages missing. Like, I'm not sure how the territory loss is going to shake out specifically.
See, the reason it called survived because it's the only place you can get perfumery. It had plot armor.
Yeah,
Or had
plot
crafting plot
armor.
armor.
Yep, it had crafting plot armor. I think that if it ever ended up getting to Estaport, I mean, there would be certain players that would flip at everything from there being gone. Not just because of the shops, but because of all the crafting supplies. So I think it's pretty safe to say it's going to have some plot armor too.
I'm like counting down the days. Like Sid keeps going over to where the rot is near north of trees, and like counting how many days it's going to be until it gets to Estaport. And it hasn't really moved, but like the number hasn't really moved very much. But I would kind of love to see Estaport be like a super called.
Hmm.
That would be good. But how are they going to stay safe? Although I was talking to someone earlier, and isn't the rot eventually supposed to be slowing down? Supposedly,
I mean, maybe.
It's
maybe.
my
Kind of.
understanding is that it has lost direction at this stage.
Mhm.
Who knows
Big
if
deals.
that will last, since a whole bunch of generals just rolled in, and who knows if that was ever actually happening, or if it was just some sort of little deception to let down our guard and give them a little bit of rest while they regrouped or whatever. But that was my understanding for a bit. At some point in the middle of the fighting over Called, actually, it had been brought up in character. And it seemed reasonable enough, so I ran with it.
It's a good plan.
Gotcha.
Okay. Well, I think at this point we are at about our 2-hour mark. So
Mhm.
I think it's a safe time to go ahead and kind of pan out at here. Are there any final things that you all would like to say as far as the whole moon ritual, which was originally supposed to be the focus?
Just like
We did a pretty good job focusing on it.
Yeah.
yeah.
For the
I-
most
I
Is there
would
anything
just-
that we didn't talk about or people still wonder about?
Yeah, the only thing I was just gonna say is I'm just more so excited about what is to come in Dia Ruiz. what new things we're gonna see. Are we gonna see more Guardians? Is our Toser and Erasa gonna find Ankiar? Are we gonna
Oh.
get our B Guardian?
I demand a
We-
Coyote Guardian. I demand a
we did
Guardian
not-
for every visage.
We did not talk about Calabar showing up. That's
Oh,
a
that's
huge
right.
deal.
That was a huge
There's
thing, yeah.
The
Actually,
seventh
one
Guardian showed
there's-
up.
one kind of big lore drop that was dropped just now in the honors of Jokach.
Oh yeah,
Jokach,
the
the wizard.
corrupted.
The corrupted Mantis Guardian.
Yeah.
who-
What? Who?
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
apparently a
Mantis
Mantis Guardian that got corrupted at some point.
What?
Yeah.
If you do
Zara, the
honors
Mantis Guardian.
Jokach? Jokach?
Jokoth?
Jokach. I have no idea how you pronounce that.
Got it.
I'd say
I
Joe
just-
Koch.
yes.
Or Joe Koch.
Jokach.
A Shadowbounder
He
Dallas.
has laid claim to
What?
the Forsaken Plane of Dendara is the one that like hits me in the gut.
That hits me too.
What? What? Oh, see,
Yeah.
like this is the kind of shit that I'm like looking for. Like,
Yeah.
and also, Ictinus, I swear to God, if you're watching, you better give me Karn, or I'll burn this shit down. I'll burn all this shit down. I need Karn. I need
If
because
you-
like my whole thing is that I missed every single corrupted guardian. I missed Alshek. I missed Wormy the Diseased. I
Hishali.
missed I don't even know about Hishali until like I looked in the Shaman G helps. I don't know if there's even like an events post about like what
Yeah.
happened there.
There's an events
I don't
post
think
for
there's-
Hishali.
Okay, yeah,
There's
I,
nothing,
I- cause-
rare news.
Well, what we really need to do is just make an offering of like drama or like an offering of good times. Because if we, if we just release one of them or like we meet one of them and it causes trouble,
right,
I mean, how can anyone resist, right?
right.
I
I've
say
gotta-
we just
Uh,
release all the corrupt guardians and throw them at Shadow, and nothing wrong
So
will happen.
So that's another thing we didn't really touch on as much. Just on a side note, to prepare for the ritual, everyone was told to like go find an animal that like speaks to them, and then bring it to make like a costume. I wanted to kind of just touch on how cool it was to see everyone walk into the room in their ritual costume, and then
That was so
there-
fucking cool.
their emotes, like what it looked like when you looked in the room, their says, everything was covered up as the
With
visage
the
of the
visage.
animal they picked.
Yes, and that was
It-
so. It was so
Oh, it
awesome.
was so cool.
It was so goddamn cool.
Oh,
And
that actually-
not to mention,
sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just
No,
going to say, like,
totally fine.
Raced came in fucking clutch for me because, everybody was getting their visages, and I naturally was looking for a wyvern, could not find one, didn't know where one was, and so I was like, well, if I can't find a wyvern, I was like, I'm gonna need something big that'll fit Illy, so I went to go kill Mamba, and then I gave Mamba to Race, and Race is all like, Watcher, no. Like, yeah, because Stein had picked Mamba and I had no idea. But he Race was all like, you need something unique. He's all like, why don't you go find a wyvern? And I'm like, there's a whole bunch of shadow messing up the world, and everywhere I looked, I couldn't find one. So I don't really know. And then he's like, have you been to the Temple of San recently? I was like, no, it's been some time. He said, go have a look there. Sure enough, there's a wyvern down there, like way underneath it.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's
Whoa.
rough. I had no idea, so went killed it. That's how I got my wyvern costume. I'm like, Race, and then what was so fucked up was that I told Race, I was like, Race, I owe you one. Like, if you ever need a favor, like, let me know. And then he died.
Yeah. One thing that I really liked that happened, because it seemed totally just players picking up on it, when Race was approaching the altar, there was just like one last kind of sentinel heartbeat send off for him.
Yeah,
And like, I don't know how many people were there, but like a ton of players just picked up on it without like, I didn't see any prompting or anything, and I thought that was really cool, and also made me very sad. Everything about Race makes me very sad.
dude, I'm telling you, yeah, like, and that's why like one of my final thoughts, like right before Race had sacrificed himself, was like, that now I got to live for Race, because like I told him I owed him a favor, and like now I can't give him one, so it's like I gotta honor his memory.
Race
Not like not like I
this
wasn't
Game of
going to
Thrones.
before, but you know.
Ugh.
Ictinus, I didn't see what he said in the chat. Keep dreaming.
What?
When I was talking about Karn, he said keep dreaming. But
Yeah, keep dreaming. Yeah.
He sent me a hint. I'm assuming it was him. He sent me a hint like the other day when I was talking about it on web. But I said I wanted Dendara Pyre and Karn at least. Like those are just my two wishes in life. And I just got an anonymous hint. Keep dreaming.
It's I think it's someone else's turn to start the apocalypse after this one. I'm not sure we really want to open up Cards Prison just yet.
You know, like, dude, like, so that's my thing. Is like with the creation of Dia Ruiz, like, you know, my character has respect for all the Guardians, corrupted or not. I mean, that isn't to say like he obviously knows his duty is to like put down a corrupted Guardian should that happen, but it's like they're still a Guardian. You know, it's like once upon a time, you know, you were gang. You feel me? But now that like the shadow is no longer a problem, like my character has been like strongly thinking about if there's like a possible way to cleanse Karn or rehabilitate him in some way. Now that, or you know, I don't know. Obviously, don't know the ins and outs of like what becoming shadowbound means and if there's a way to like fix it or anything. But like if there is a way to save a corrupted guardian before we have to put them down because we've already killed so many of them, then that is something my character would absolutely love to do and restore Karn to his former glory. Otherwise, you know, I either gotta help him or kill him, one of the two. But either way, I don't want to miss out on any more corrupted guardian stuff because I've literally missed all of them, and that's probably like my single biggest regret, in like my entire Tolian career, just not having been around for any of that stuff. But you know, we'll see what happens in the future.
You know, he's just going to corrupt everything from the inside out. That's what's going to happen.
Right, Karn is just going to start the shadow plague inside Dendara, the second War of Night,
Yeah,
or the third one.
third one, exactly. That's what's going to happen.
The
Did
third
we
war
get a
of
reason
night.
as to why
Two
Karn got
replacements.
moved forward to Diarus?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, did he? Do you
I,
guys?
I believe
Supposedly he
I believe
did.
Heron said
Okay,
that. Yeah,
okay.
I believe Heron
I
said
think-
that he was safely transferred and still imprisoned into Dia Ruiz.
Yeah, my understanding is that like Karn has to keep living because if Karn doesn't live, the Valley of Ancients like blows up or some shit like that.
That's
That
what he said.
that I did not know. I have all. In fact, I really wasn't. I have no idea why Karn isn't dead as opposed to being in prison as the rest of them. So that,
Well,
yeah,
that-
that was something I didn't know.
Yeah, that was
I-
said recently. Before I even retired Ren, it was said that that if he dies, basically, the access to or the Valley of the Ancients would go. So
I had no idea.
But if Dire Ruiz is this whole new thing, and you could create your own new valley, why would you
Well,
need to keep
There
that?
is a certain thing which this might be retroactive, but part of it I think has to be Dendara still exists.
Yeah.
And
Right.
we knew that, but now we especially know that because
Someone's trying to take it or whatever.
someone
and-
has claimed it.
yeah, someone
Well,
claimed it.
it
So if
was
we leave
listed-
Karn there and he just gets out, starts walking around, you know, that could be pretty bad.
It
Also-
was listed in the Prime Material Planes list, like in Help Cosmology. Like the moment we got Tyruiz, like they changed the name of Dendara to Dendara, the Plane of Life Forsaken. So there was
Oh.
like a hint there, but I didn't realize that like Shadow was just gonna come and like scoop it up, so to speak.
Yeah.
Actually, very pog.
And
Also,
they
I-
even have a little asterisk thing about it. Nice.
I just think that it's really cool if there was a mantis guardian, which tells me that there can be insect guardians, which means I need my bee guardian. And if I get a wasp, I promise you I will burn Dendara down. I will burn it all to the ground.
What if there's a bee and a wasp and they're just locked in an eternal battle?
I mean, I'm gonna just have to put down the wasp then. I'm sorry. Like, there can only be one.
Oh boy. Before we go into that discussion, originally I was trying to close the show up, but you guys were going great, and that was beautiful, like wonderful. and all that. But did we have any other people with final thoughts? I don't even know who took their turn that last time, honestly.
Oh, I just wanted to say I don't think I actually finished this sentence, which is a distinct problem of mine. I just wanted to say, to everyone involved in the Ritual Pools, players, good shit. Like, really good shit.
Yeah.
All around.
I mean, well, I feel like we've all been singing the praises of Ictinus and this administration endlessly, but I mean, I never get tired of just giving you guys your props and just really appreciating the amazing job you all have done and have been doing with this, not just with this event, just like even before all this shit popped off, things were feeling really alive and great. And I was just super happy with how things were then, and then just with all this, it just kicked it up to a completely different level, and I am here for it.
Sid?
Yeah,
Or Sid?
looking forward to what's next. I think Dwyron has had this great couple of like events, and I feel the camaraderie in a way that I haven't really felt in a really, really long time, and that is just priceless.
And then, Sid, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm very excited to see where Durin goes. I'm very excited to see where this event goes. I'm still having trouble like conceptualizing an end to this event. Like I have no clue what's going to happen, and that excites me greatly.
Apparently my typing is...
I say Durin. I say Durin.
I say Durin, yeah.
I say Durin.
I say Dwyron because
what
I
is
feel
this-
like it came from like that Celtic Hernic language. That's how they would
I kind
pronounce
of
it.
say Durin.
No, let that shit go. Just, I mean, I love the name Herno. I love Herno. No, you need to separate that shit.
I say Dwiren, which is
Yeah.
pretty different from both of you. Yeah.
Honestly, I would accept that over Dwyron. Honestly, the Dwyron is killing me. Oh God, it's just killing me.
It's okay.
Says somebody who named a character Illidan.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
You know what? New character. Who this?
You're still,
Yeah, I don't know
you're
any
still,
Illidan's. I only know Illical.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
You will forever be Illidan to me. I'm sorry. It's not going to change.
I'm forever Illidan to a lot of people, unfortunately.
Yeah, Keegan keeps making a point of it. He's telling you
But-
you should have to be name changed back to
There is literally no record of me ever having existed, and nobody can tell me otherwise. That was legit 90.
Actually,
That was 90% of the reason. That was 90% of the reason that I bashed 200 was to change my name, the name that I made when I was 16 years old.
Search news events Illidan.
Oh yeah, you can find it. You can.
Oh,
definitely
God.
find it.
Yeah, I mean, it could be worse. I knew a guy who named himself Legolas backwards. So,
I mean, there was some dude named Arthas that was walking around for a while.
there's a
too.
He was actually
Garen
a
Crown Guard,
decent-
I think.
I was gonna say Arthas is actually a decent role player. Surprisingly enough, I remember him.
I think if you honors Ezreal,
Ezreal.
Oh yeah, I know.
but
who fuck
Ezreal is
Ezreal
married
is.
to
That-
Lexana.
Yes, that was just a whole meme.
that was definitely a meme.
That was literally just a whole meme.
No Garen. No
There was a
Garen,
couple.
so I
There was
wrote
this
that
one
wrong.
guy that kept naming his characters solely after Kingdom Heart characters. I can't think of who it was right now. Was it Sato? No, not Sato. I can't think of it. Anyway, people make bad choices of bad names. I have a Dolan on Empyrean before the freaking meme, and I can't delete it because it's a permanent character, and I can't retire it. So I permanently have Dolan before the Dolan Duck shit. So good times. Okay. Any other thoughts, guys? Or any other things you want to make sure to kind of wrap this nice show up in a little bow?
Something, but I'll wait for someone else to go first.
I already
I
I
said
feel like
my
I've been
thing, I
talking
think.
a lot.
I've got out all my rocks, so
I would say that I would encourage what Rasani said earlier, that if you try something and just maybe be a little, if it feels crazy or it feels like maybe nothing will come of it, I encourage everybody to just try and see what happens from it. Sorry, puppy. Just see what happens from making a wild choice and seeing it through. I think we've been able to see that it's been rewarded, and we've had a lot of fun.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I just want to like give a +1 to, if there's something cool you want to do for your org, literally just like go out and do it. Like don't, like, if you're not in
Like start an apocalypse.
Yeah, like if you're not in a position of like leadership, like obviously talk to leaders and like try to get them involved on it. But like that shouldn't stop you from trying anyways. And like everyone could stand to think more of like how much agency they have in the game. Like all the things they do matters. We have a very attentive admin team. So like literally anything you guys try to do, as long as it's like feasible, I'm pretty sure like they'll jump on board as long as it's cool.
Oh yeah.
So
sure.
like just keep that in mind as we go through this event and like go into the future. Like everything we do matters, and that's kind of what makes playing the game like very magical.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's been a pretty steady theme, so it is good to have more and more people just preach it to the crowd, so that hopefully we do have some players that listen in from some of the other games, and some people that are a little bit scared to just, try to have a little bit more player agency. So hopefully hearing it from you all and from everyone else is just going to help continue this push that we're seeing that's making the game just, crazy, chaotic, but fun. I think it's fun.
Yes, indeedy. In fact, we have some stuff. Me and Sabati have some stuff in the works for the Shaman / Durin right now.
Yeah.
Some interesting things. We'll hopefully we'll see what the result of that is. So.
Yeah, Illy's got something going. Also, Sid and I have got something going. It's gonna be fun. We're not done.
Yep.
Nope, you guys are like the creative, just never-ending cycle people, and I am always impressed.
I'm not gonna lie. No, like I really do like draw some of my creativity from like Sib is a really amazing source of creativity, and like Sid and all of his shenanigans. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of really great sources of inspiration in my immediate vicinity, being Durin and the Shamans that I'm just thankful for. So.
I wish I could do like I can't do it. I was just gonna do like little love hearts for you guys. Little love hearts. Wonder if I could. I know I can't pull up paint. Never mind. Anyway, okay. Well, any final thoughts before we go ahead and just again wrap this up with a tiny little bow?
Mm-hmm. I'm all good because I think I got a skedaddle actually. So
yeah,
I need to get back to work.
Yeah, you should probably get back to work. That might be a smart thing over there. And Sibs has her dog just, kind of just chomping at the bits, probably quite literally. So
he thinks I'm talking to him because he doesn't understand that there's, I'm on a technology.
Yeah.
He's like, why aren't you talking to me? Like, you're talking and I'm over here. That's literally what he's doing.
That's so freaking adorable. I love your dog. Anyway. And just completely unrelated and side note for you is because of you, my son is starting to repeatedly ask for a wiener dog.
Well, they're the best, so I don't blame him.
Yeah, I can't blame him.
Oz has good taste.
He has good taste, but we need to have less cats first, please. Anyway. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate all of you coming on. I know it was kind of a little bit of insanity with things going on in the game, but you all were amazing. I look forward to seeing what else Duran, I'm going to say that right, Duran,
yes,
does.
Duran,
exactly. We got Duran here. But I look forward to seeing what else you all end up doing. And, if you all feel like you want to do another one of these at some point to just talk to, like, other ideas you have, or just kind of talk in a little bit more depth about anything in particular, just let me know. Otherwise, thank you again. Have a wonderful night. And hey, guys, for anyone who's listening, no show Sunday, no show for like another week. I will be out. I'm going to be peacing out. So just, have fun.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Everybody have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks for hosting this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was fun.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Catch you later.